And there's two applicants on the agenda tonight. I will offer this to both applicants. We do not have a full board, which means you would need 4 out of 6 rather than 4 out of 7. We had one board member that was not able to make it at the last minute tonight. So if you want to proceed with the 6 board members, just let us go when you come up here. But I'll start by introducing the board. Starting with my left over here is Fred Keene, Byron Elias, Tim Tallman. I'm Randy Bogar. Our recording secretary is Dory Shaw, John Montrose, and Karen Stanislav. Our town attorney is here, Herb Cully, and our codes enforcement officer, Joe Booth, is here as well. Like I mentioned, we have 2 items on the agenda. We'll have Dory read each application. We'll have the applicant come up, bring with you anything that you think is pertinent to your particular application, whether it's letters in support, diagrams, photos, and we'll open it up to the board, may have some questions for you. After that, we'll open it up to the audience. They may have some comments. I would ask the audience to direct any questions to the board. And at that point, we hope to make a decision on both of these items tonight, pending anything out of the ordinary. So with that said, I'll have Dory read the first application.
The application of Mr. Ty Robbins of Site Enhancement Services regarding the sign for the Red Lobster Restaurant, 4619 Commercial Drive, New Hartford, New York. The applicant is located in the Retail Business 1 zone, which allows only 1 sign per side, minimum 2, maximum 2. Applicant is seeking a quantity area variance for 1 additional building mounted sign at 24 square feet.
Welcome.
Yes, thanks for having me this evening. Thank you very much. I know you've all seen the drawings. I have additional copies of the drawings for anyone who wishes for those. I will just say a few things about the request, as Ms. Shaw just mentioned. The request is to, I'm sorry.
For the record, could we get your name?
Sure, yes, Ty Robbins. Company is Site Enhancement Services.
Okay.
Yes. So the request is for a second sign on the east-facing elevation of the building, where by code we're allowed 1 sign. Now we are requesting to replace the signs in the current locations on the building. So there are 3 signs on the building currently, and the proposed will have 3 signs as well. The square footage, when you add it all together, is staying almost exactly the same. It's actually just slightly under what's existing. The main reason for the request is to basically aid in the navigation of traffic in and around the shopping center. The Critter logo, which we're requesting today, is a instant identifier of Red Lobster's brand. Again, the aim is to aid in the safe flow of traffic in the area through identification, through the use of signage on this building. So we feel that the request is not extravagant or excessive in any way. It really makes sense with the architecture of the building. It's certainly going to be an improvement visually when you add the signage to the exterior remodel. They're painting the building, coincide with the interior remodel renovations, decor and furnishings on the inside. Certainly going to be an increase in overall customer service at this establishment. I guess in summary, we do feel that the proposed sign supports the purpose and the intent of the zoning ordinance. And again, we want to allow Red Lobster to continue to display signage that is appropriate for the business and for the needs of the public. So if there's any questions over the drawings or the requests, I'd be more than happy to answer them for you.
Yeah, you're showing this lobster like this. Is that how it's going to be? Or because when on the picture, it shows it as a solid painting or a solid sign?
Correct. That drawing that you alluded to is the configuration of the LED lighting inside the sign.
Okay, but it's going to be just one lit sign?
Correct.
These lights are going to stay, they're not going to blink or rotate or
it's
chase each
internal.
other around?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
It's internal illumination, constant illumination, no flashing or anything like that.
You currently have 3 signs?
Yes, sir.
And you're asking for 3 signs?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's just that.
And 2 are allowed by code, so that.
You've already got a variance for the 3rd one, apparently. At one point in time, you were allowed to add the 3rd one that you currently have?
It's my understanding that the 3 signs were allowed at the time that they
Okay.
were permitted sometime in the past.
Understand, okay. Just, so we judge. I understand.
I like it.
Any questions?
Yeah, no, I got it. I like it.
Is it 24-hour lit or certain hours?
You know, that I'm not sure. I know, we, of course, abide by any local codes. I don't know if there's any restrictions on illumination at night. I'm not sure if they're lit constantly.
I can
Property
answer
owner
it. I
knows.
know
For the record?
column, my name's Joe Burke, I'm with T. Haynes Realty. And the column lights surrounding the center, they go off, I want to say about 11 or 12 o'clock, depending how the time clock, how much play there is. But as far as the signs on the building, the Red Lobster signs themselves, they control that on their own. And I'm pretty certain that they're off at closing, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, thank you. So you're all set?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Tim?
I'm fine with it, I think it's gonna be a great improvement.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, fine. John, you set?
Yeah, I'm all set.
Karen?
Too. It's very
Okay.
nice.
We'll open it up. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on behalf of this particular application? No? Okay. Calls or letters, Dory? Do we get, we got nothing? Okay.
Interior sign.
We'll hold on for a lobster.
So we had, no recommendation from the county and nothing from the state. Okay.
Support it?
We're closed. Comments?
So these 3 signs will be slightly smaller than the original 3
Yeah.
signs, and I like the idea of the LED lighting because it's less than the environment with use of electricity.
Your company is reinvesting money back into their business. It's important that we support that kind of an effort, I think, for the community.
All right, we're going to take a look at
Sure.
whether the benefit can be achieved by the means feasible to the applicant.
No.
Undesirable change in neighborhood character of the nearby properties. No. Request is substantial. No. Whether the request will have adverse physical or environmental effects. No. And whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. With that said, does somebody want to make a motion?
This is more. Go ahead,
Go
Karen.
ahead, no, Fred, go.
Karen.
Karen, it's your turn, come on.
Karen?
Okay, I move that we accept the application as presented.
I'll second.
Okay.
Second by Tim.
Aye.
Fred?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. You're all set.
Thank you very much. Thanks for your
Good
time.
luck.
Good luck.
Oh, yeah, just talk to the codes about getting the permit.
Judy, Judy answered me. Lobster Fest tickets.
He doesn't work for Lobster. Just the sign here.
Okay.
And this,
The next item is an interpretation from Mr. Omar Masood, Masood Tree Farm, 9716 Roberts Road, Sequoia, New York, which is the town of New Hartford. Mr. Masood would like to import products not grown on his premises for resale, which is contrary to the definition of an agricultural use. This property is zoned agricultural.
there you go.
I'd also like to thank the board for hearing me out tonight. Hope there's judges to meet tonight.
We got the
Low chair?
You got the low chair.
Get the kids' chairs.
Presently, we're selling landscape trees and shrubs grown out of our nursery. In the fall, we have pumpkins, corn, gourds, and a Christmas tree business after that.
All grown out of your nursery, or all grown on the property?
This is all on the farm right now.
Okay.
We like to diversify by putting in a farm stand. We're gonna grow as much as we possibly could. If business warrants it, we would like to buy and sell from local producers and from other sources to maintain our inventory.
So give us, oh,
Now, the things that you want to buy, this is fruits and vegetables, correct?
Yeah, fruits and vegetables, yeah.
Okay.
You have to understand I can't grow watermelons or bananas,
Bananas, no.
so I'm gonna have to buy that stuff in.
Okay. How big a fruit stand are you looking at, installing?
Size, it's the, I would say it's gonna be about 60 feet long and about 20 feet deep. It's gonna be the front part of our existing structure that we use right now for retail.
How far a setback are you gonna have so that cars can come in and come out without getting
About 140 to 150 feet from the
deep
road.
from the road?
Yeah,
And parking for how many cars do you feel?
about 150 that we use for other business, especially Christmas time. There's plenty, it's all, most of it is asphalt parking too.
Okay, now, from what you're saying is, apparently the rules that you're currently working under prohibit you from selling product that you do not grow on your own property.
At this point right now, I am in conformance.
Yeah,
What I'm looking for is an interpretation of the zoning law to permit me to add more products to an existing business.
okay, I understand.
So tomatoes and peppers and stuff like that, you're gonna grow on your own property?
Yes, well, as much as I can. If business is real good, I gotta buy it and sell it.
Are you taking your existing building and using that, so you're not adding, are you going inside the barn and doing that? Is that what
Going
you're
inside the barn,
So you're not building a new structure?
I am gonna I had to put coolers in.
Right, but you're using the internal structure, the
No
building that's
addition,
already.
yeah, no additions in any of the
Right.
buildings, no.
Just building shelving and.
Shelving and
coolers.
refrigeration.
Okay.
So like where you're walking right now, where the Christmas trees are, when you go there, you're talking about that space?
Just that front part,
Front
Ted.
part, yeah, okay. I know what you're talking about that.
Shannon?
How much you think you're gonna have to import? 10%, 20%? I mean, I know you'd like to say 100 if you could get that busy, but I mean,
I don't know, John, it's too difficult to determine. It might not go at all.
no.
It might not work
But I
at
mean,
all.
you're gonna plan on like planting your own tomatoes and your own peppers and stuff right now?
Yeah, some stuff I
And
can't.
see- Right, I realize there's some stuff you can't.
As far as snap beans, I got a guy that grows 1,000 acres right next door to me. I got all the beans I want.
Do you currently sell fruits and vegetables right now?
I used to,
But not now?
no, about 20 years ago.
Okay. Okay, so this technically is a whole new business at that location?
Yeah, it's a family farm and we're trying to diversify now. We've had some bad years. We had a drought one year and a flood the next. So rather than just depend upon trees for our livelihood, we wanted to just do a little bit more to keep the farm viable. And by the way, Governor Cuomo is encouraging this type of enterprise as agribusiness. You probably
Yeah.
heard of that. He wants to maintain the family farm, keep them viable, so they don't go to development.
Karen, any?
Do you have any proposed growers or anybody else besides your next door neighbor? I mean, in other words, have you looked into what types of other products you're thinking of and who would produce that for you?
There is so many in the immediate area where we are. They offered this stuff to me free of charge over the years, just to take it from them.
What's that?
Vegetables.
Oh, okay.
I have an apple orchard right next door to me. Plenty of apples, all the apples I need. Different varieties, high quality apples too.
And are they gonna get a cut of whatever you sell or?
I'm gonna buy from them and resell.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Joe has the regulation to read to us, so he can understand what that is.
Would you like me to read it?
Why don't you read it right now, Joe?
agricultural use. Cultivation of land or raising or harvesting of any agricultural or horticultural commodity, including the raising and shearing, feeding, caring for, training of, and management of animals, including the sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land, and including the construction, alteration, or maintenance of fences, agricultural roads, agricultural drainage systems, and farm ponds on such lands. The term farm is included in this definition.
Okay.
Joe, is there a definition for agricultural structure there?
Agricultural structure?
Yeah.
Yes. Any
Read that,
barn,
please.
stable, shed, silo, garage, fruit, and vegetable stand or other building or structure directly and customarily associated with agricultural use.
Okay, so in a structure, they can have a fruit stand. Fruit or vegetable stand. I think that's what it said.
You may be reading between the lines. It also said that it's gotta be grown on the property.
That's the key, that's what the request is.
Well, that's why I was wondering, if
Yeah.
if he's only gonna have to get 10% of stuff off his property, you know?
Well,
Do we have any other questions for the applicant?
I'm comfortable with.
I have another point I can make.
Sure.
Greenhouses, as one example,
Yeah.
to bring in other products and resell them,
Okay.
okay? And they can sell bags of potting mix, et cetera, so on and so forth, that they don't raise.
But that's not considered a farm though, is it? A greenhouse?
It's a
Comes
permitted use
under
outside.
agriculture, yes, it does.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you're talking like the mum, you're talking like the mum farm.
no names mentioned.
Well, I'm just trying to,
Yeah,
in my mind, what I know.
For Wagner's or anybody like the
Yeah,
mom.
for sale.
Yeah. I hear you, I hear you.
Yes.
Then I can understand them doing that, and you can't sell french fries without ketchup, okay? You gotta have the condiment.
Where are you gonna grow all these
Any,
gardens?
any other questions for the applicant?
No.
Not at this point. Okay.
No, I got one.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Let's get it
As
in.
as far as, and let's go with this, maybe plums, peaches, something like that, are you gonna go to the market in the morning, pick it up, and then bring it up to your place?
Yes, I am.
You're not gonna have trucks, big trucks running in and out, you're gonna do it on your
It
own?
wouldn't be
or-
feasible, John, because paying the middleman, I plan on having low prices.
No.
The only way I'm gonna be able to compete with the big guys is have lower prices and fresh stuff. Go to market every day, bring it in, and save that, paying that extra
Right.
cost.
What's the hours of operation you're talking about?
Looking at 9 to 6,
How many days a week?
every day except Sundays. No Sundays.
What about time of the year?
Probably,
This is
probably
year
Memorial
round?
Day till the end of pumpkin season.
All summer long.
All summer months.
Depending on what products you can sell.
Why don't you want to be open on Sunday?
Take my wife fishing.
Okay?
Anything else? Jan, are you all set?
No, I'm all set, no.
Okay. We'll open this up. Is there anybody in the audience that wishes to speak on behalf of this particular application? Yes, sir.
Just a question now. Mr. Massoud, you're not planning, oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm Les Courtwright, and I'm Omar's neighbor.
Welcome.
And we're not worried about the noise traffic because that comes down the hill off the gravel pits at 6 in the morning and they're dropping that breakdown and they wake us up. But that's besides the point. What I'm concerned about is, you're not gonna build any fences, are you, Omar?
Fences?
Fences, to keep your neighbors out?
We would have done that a long time ago.
I mean, because I go over and get my tree every year when you're not looking. But I wanna make sure I can get the vegetables and stuff too.
You got the day old stuff, don't worry about it.
I'll deliver it.
You're not planning on building fences or anything, are you?
No.
They don't believe in fences.
Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on behalf of this particular application? Okay. We did get,
Me? No?
okay, so we did get something from the Marion County Department of Planning.
You wanna say something?
Oh,
Hi, my name is Samir Omersevic, and I am his first neighbor across the street. If I can say something to help you guys to vote in his favor, please do. He's very good neighbor, hardworking guy, and I believe he's gonna help even his neighbor with his farm. We're gonna have at least fresh vegetables and good price on that. So please, when you vote, vote in his favor. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
I think the inventory is very pricey.
Anybody else? Okay. We did get something from Marion County Department of Planning. They have no jurisdiction, so that's what they basically responded by. And that's it. And that was it, nothing else. I guess we'll close comments.
You look at me.
Whoever,
I think as long as it's inside the building, I don't have a problem with it. I don't care where he gets his stuff from, as long as he keeps it agricultural. And I think that the agricultural structure says he can have, if I heard him right, sell fruits and vegetables. And while it says also the agricultural use is related to the agricultural use, I think if it's inside the building, I don't have a problem with him going down to his neighbors to pick up apples or bananas or whatever they may be growing, and at the market town, wherever that may be.
okay, maybe I'll jump in at this point. Because we did deny an application or two in the past for something very similar to this.
Inside?
And Mike, doesn't matter, in this case, the issue here is the product grown onto the property or not? That's the issue, and we did deny an application in the past. So that's my bigger concern, it's not even the individual, it's
No.
not, that has nothing to do with it, it's more of looking at the, from the legal sense, I guess. My other concern is if we say that, yeah, it's okay, what other things are we opening the town up to? Maybe somebody wants to do something else in their area, and do you allow carte blanche to say it's okay, you know? Somebody wants to have a stand, and it's okay to have anything. So I guess I'm looking at what Joe talked about more in the strict sense on this particular application. That's my concern as we go forward. You have to, it's what we've done in the past, it's what the code allows, and it's what you could potentially have in the future. And are we opening the door to some things that we're all going to be concerned about, or looking back and saying, geez, that was not maybe the wisest decision that we made at that point in time.
I've made a few of those.
Well, and we all can probably look at something that, in different areas that we, you know, fences has always been one that we've looked back and said, you know, geez, we approved that, and I was on one of those, and I said, wow, did we make a mistake on that? So, I would just ask that you consider all the ramifications before we jump to anything, that's all.
I think going back to that one that you're referring to, that was a commercial piece of property with nothing at all growing on the property. I'm not saying that he's growing everything on the property, but it wasn't even a farm that grew, not even a tree, it was just.
Was that the business on Captain Glen Road?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think it's somewhat the same, but two totally different. Yeah.
It's the locations.
Well, it's not even, it has nothing to do with location. We have one commercial property, one agricultural.
Exactly, and
Okay.
plus the fact that this gentleman's already had this business there.
Yeah.
He's conducting business on that property.
He's conducting business now, selling
And,
trees and
So
so on
in
and
the
so
other
forth.
particular case, there was nothing there. He wanted to go and build a stand of nothing in a commercial area, not in an agricultural area. I think, I respect what
I
he's saying.
understand that, yeah.
I'm not sure that the similarities are all that close.
Just be careful though.
I understand.
If
I
the code
respect
says
everything.
anything growing on, what else are you opening that up to? That's
Well, what
my
else can they
concern.
grow there?
Well, I mean,
We're not even growing.
I'm not even saying in this particular,
No,
I'm
no,
saying
no.
that the next person that comes in is gonna wanna do something different now.
But
Yeah,
But
maybe just
as
the-
long as we restrict
I
this
think
to
it's-
agricultural, we can, I mean, he's not gonna be selling cars there, he's not gonna be, doing things like
No
that.
cars.
So do we,
Just parts.
so do we pick and choose what we wanna do?
No, 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 as long as we maintain an agricultural setting for that particular piece of property, that's my feeling.
Okay.
I respect the way you're reading what you are, but you take each of these individually,
I
and
understand.
basically, no offense, but that is a farm that he's on. It's a tree farm, it's a pumpkin farm, it's a farm. And you sell product off of farms. And if he was raising cows and he passed the codes, he could sell cheese
And
and butter.
what the code allows is what's grown there now, so you're changing the code. Think about that,
Yeah,
that's all.
I understand.
Or is
But
it
that is-
better,
that
or
is-
is it, or is it better to come for a variance to do the other side? Hmm?
It's up
I-
to discussion.
Yeah, I don't see it. I hear what you're saying, I respect what you're saying, but in zoning, my understanding of it is maybe slightly different in the sense that each case is individual. And as an interpretation, what I'm interpreting, what Joe said, as long as he keeps everything inside, he can have it there. And while it says the agricultural use, there has to be everything bought, manufactured or grown on the property, but inside the building, it's gonna be a vegetable stand, a fruit and vegetable stand. So as long as they're fruits and vegetables, I'm happy with it as long as he keeps it inside, as an interpretation. I hear what you're saying.
I really have to go along with what he's saying. That's all, I mean,
As long as it's
it
inside.
isn't- It isn't right on the edge of the road, it's way set back.
I'm not just looking at this individual, I'm looking
No.
at, because it's an interpretation, it's not a variance.
It's not a variance.
It's not a variance, it's an interpretation.
For this property.
No, for,
For the law.
this is going
You're
forward.
interpreting them the way the law reads right now.
You're interpreting that anybody can sell anything.
Until next month when they, in May, when they pass.
Right,
the
Joe, am I
ordinance.
wrong? Or her?
That question of her.
Yeah, if you interpret it in this fashion, then that kind of takes away from Joe the ability to tell somebody else no, because you've interpreted that the language sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land means not only that, but that you can bring products in. That's your interpretation. In other words, if you
On
grant
on
it,
agricultural.
that's your interpretation.
I'd rather, as Fred said, I'd rather see a variance than an interpretation
I would
which
too.
changed.
Yeah, if it's a use variance,
Very-
someone else can't use it.
Right.
It's on a case-by-case
Okay.
basis.
That's the
He's
case by
asking
case
for a
one. This is-
blanket
this is open
interpretation.
Well, let's go to variance.
Okay.
Or let's-
He's never gonna use variance. Never gonna do it. In other words, my interpretation of the law, with all due respect to both my codes officer and my attorney, is as long as it remains in the building, I go with the agricultural structure. It says it's fruits and vegetables, and it's okay, whether it's done on Omar's farm, or the Riley farm, or the Smith farm, or anybody's farm, as long as they're doing a farm stand.
I'm not advocating a position,
No,
I was
I'm not
just
saying- I'm
asked a
saying with all due
question on the
respect.
law.
Yeah.
I can't influence you, how you
No, I don't
vote.
think you're trying.
I was
I'm just
asked
saying.
a simple question
Yeah.
as to what the repercussions of that interpretation
Yeah,
would be. If the repercussions are clear,
Forgive me.
if somebody else comes in and
I do
says to
agree.
Joe Booth, I'm opening up and I'm gonna raise alpaca and I'm gonna import some other kind of fur or whatever, he can't deny it because the interpretation now, the statute's been changed. It doesn't have to be just on the premises.
If it's an agricultural.
Right,
It can't
if it's
be-
agricultural.
But it's
It can't
not
be a
fruits and-
commercial piece of
right.
property.
But it's not fruits and vegetables. Like the agricultural, when you look at the agricultural structure, it says fruits and vegetables in it, fruits and vegetables.
I think you're opening a can of Dory.
Let's-
but
Yeah, It
that's
doesn't
my-
say alpaca,
You have
but I
that there?
respect
I
what
think
you're
you're opening
saying.
Do you have that?
Yeah.
Why don't you read it again?
Recommend he go with the variance.
I lost it, Joe.
Sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land.
Yeah.
That's what you're
They
being
wanted to
asked to
see it.
interpret.
Sales what? I'm sorry.
What's this?
Sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land.
Okay. Okay.
And the interpretation you're being asked to give is that that means also similar products can be brought in for sale in an agricultural district.
Yeah. You looking at it? No, you don't have it in front of you, do you?
I wrote it down. Sale of products grown on
Yeah.
or raised directly on such land. That's the interpretation I think that Omar is asking you
Yeah,
to make.
right.
Otherwise, you have to go for a use.
So I guess with that said,
Yeah, but then in a use variance, he's got a very difficult burden because he has to show that there's no feasible use permitted in that zone that he could put the property to generate a reasonable return. He's gotta bring in taxes, he doesn't want to do all that.
Can't do
Yeah, that's true. For use variance, I was thinking more, yeah, you're right.
A use variance probably would be more difficult.
Yep, it would be.
But Herbie, we can't do this because basically he's in an agricultural district and he's not located like on a highway or in a shopping center or something like that. I mean, is
Well-
that, if once we say you can do that, every zone
Yeah,
in
every-
the town, we're opening.
Unless you can
Pandora's
tailor
box
it,
too?
unless you can tailor it to this specific circumstance. In other words, a person in an agricultural district who has a farm stand operation, who grows a good portion of the products on premises,
Right.
has the right, if he runs short of product, to be able to go out and bring it in from outside sources, or has the right to bring it in from neighboring properties that grow similar products. That if you interpret that language to, in this case, mean that, that's your only shot.
And provided it's inside the building, like the structure
Yeah.
says, fruits and vegetables.
And agricultural. and-
Because I mean, this
Agricultural
is
structure.
different in,
Because you don't want commercial first.
I can't influence how you vote.
Oh, no, I
What I'm
realize
saying
that.
is, this is a little different because he's saying he's gonna grow a lot of these products on premises.
Right.
Right.
And if he runs out, he wants the right to be able to go to some other place and buy the stuff and bring it back. He's gonna be buying a lot of stuff from neighboring properties, neighboring farms. So this is a little different situation, but if you're gonna grant it, load it up with all that language so that somebody else who doesn't have all those specific factors can't come in.
Can't fall.
Yeah, but I like what you said. I think that what you did is you hit to the heart of the core of the way I personally feel about
Right,
this
but-
application. Only because if you put farm stand and we give a farmer an opportunity to
Put a stand
do his job, to put a stand in, and he's successful, he may end up hiring some people, he may end up bringing some people there who will buy local vegetables. And if he throws a banana or a watermelon in, I don't think should be a problem, because it'll be a minor part. He's not gonna sell 100% of his business with stuff he imports from
Right.
outside, so, but it's,
And I mean, personally, I shop at farm stands. I'd rather go to a farm stand than go to a store, but that's,
I'm more, I know, Byron, you're looking at this case specifically, I'm more concerned about the ramifications and changing the law.
we're not changing the law.
Changing the law and the interpretation of it, absolutely we are.
I- I-
But if we don't put the language
Yeah.
Dory has down there on this, you're absolutely changing it.
Oh, I like
Absolutely.
the language that she wrote, but I think.
Did you get that,
too,
Dory?
I think that I don't mean this is site specific for Mr. Masood. I mean it for the whole town. If the farmer Riley has a barn 100 feet off the property line, or 50 feet off the property line, as long as it's within the code that Joe has in his book, I'm in favor of it, and I want him to be successful. I want him to be able to have fruits and vegetables. I don't want him to do alpaca Wool, I don't think that that's appropriate unless he's got an alpaca farm.
See,
Thank you, sir.
And I would be more in favor of something specific than opening Pandora's box to
We
anything.
could,
Well, I think we can
That's-
tailor
we
it.
could, we
That's,
could
that's,
do
you're,
it.
you're,
We could
Fine.
tailor this.
it's your
We could-
interpretation, and I don't,
We could tailor this, I think, so we could do it, because you could put restrictions on it. And just a far-fetched one was the acreage that's involved in this.
Got 300.
Geez, how many people have got 300 acres that want to open a fruit stand?
Yeah, but you,
I don't know if we can do that. I think
Well,
where I
you
agree
put
with Randy
restrictions
is,
on it.
for me, I'm interpreting for all ag districts to be able to have stands. And the way I see it is, as long as he's got a building, he can have a fruit and vegetable stand in it from the agricultural structure use. And I say that he can put his structure in, he's inside, he's got the stuff inside. And I feel my interpretation for this one use, not for Mr. Massoud, but for the entire ag district, if they got a barn and they want to put a market in it, they can do it as long as it's fruits and vegetables.
and I'll disagree with you.
Yes,
Because
I respect
I
that.
disagree with it because they're bringing it in. And you're gonna allow that across the whole town, anybody to bring it in, any place, anytime, anywhere.
As long as he keeps it inside the barn.
any agricultural.
And you get, we're talking
Oh, yeah.
agricultural, right? You're telling me
You're
that
not talking commercial property.
I can open on Oxford Road here, I can open up a fruit stand if I
I don't
do it in
have a
my
listing
garage?
of, I don't have a listing of where every agricultural business is here in front of me though. Do you? Do you
No.
know where they all are in the whole town? So you're gonna open it
No.
up, right now you're deciding, maybe it's gonna end up next to your house. And that's okay, until you find out that, they're gonna start selling, and you're gonna get the traffic, and then you're gonna say, geez, what did they do? What did they allow?
If it's-
And they're successful, and I want them to be successful.
I just think that we could put a restriction on that.
That's not what he wants. That's not
Well,
what
I'm
Byron
okay
wants.
with what Herb was saying, I caught most of it. But the point is,
You wanna allow it any place, and I don't,
Yeah.
so,
in an ag district, in
That's
an
the
ag
issue.
district. In an ag
and
district,
that's,
inside the barn,
I'm specific to
Right,
this
well,
one,
under-
I'm specific to this one right now. That's it. So we can,
I got you.
so I guess, where do you wanna go?
Listen to those goddamn trucks every day.
I'd like to have Dory read back what her recommended as far as the boards are concerned.
Well, Herb Cully started stating in bits and pieces where a person in an ag district who has a farm stand, who grows a good portion of the products on the premises, and if he wants to, run his business, run his business and bring in some outside sources, from neighboring properties, he can. He is interpreting the language to mean that it is not only, I had a shop, but that doesn't make sense.
That's okay,
This
that
is-
never makes sense.
Well, I've got to run the sentences together. Herb, this is different, he can influence, he can't influence how you vote. This is a little different because he is saying he will grow a lot of his own produce on the premises, and if he runs out, he wants to bring in some from adjoining neighbors or other sources. That's what I have.
I'm okay with leaving it there, as long as he runs out of stuff he grows. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, but Byron, that's not
Oh,
what
that's
he's
his only
saying.
shot, that's where the word shot comes in.
Yeah, but if he
That's not what he's saying. In other words, bananas and watermelons, nobody's gonna grow.
I got that. I got that.
No, he has to go out.
I got it.
But we can't limit him to purchasing additional product from from neighbors, he's gonna have to go to certain specialty markets to buy some of the product that he needs to sell, i.e. bananas. Grateful if he goes that way.
Fruits and vegetables includes it all.
Yeah, but, I mean,
Oh,
he can't buy those things from neighbors.
No.
Well, he just did, he said he could buy the beans from somebody else.
Yeah, but you can't buy bananas.
Right.
Yeah, but how many fruit stands do you go to in an agricultural area and buy bananas? Watermelons, yes. Cantaloupes, yes. But watermelons,
Bananas and apples.
or
I go to
bananas
North
rather.
Star, I buy everything.
Pardon?
I go to North Star, I buy everything, apples, bananas, he sells everything.
They have bananas in there?
He's got cookies.
I never
he's
usually
got-
get past
He's
the
got
pie.
implements, he's got it all.
Okay. I don't usually get past the pies and the.
I don't get by them.
What about no bananas? Because if you if you put a greenhouse on here, a small greenhouse, you could actually grow watermelon, cantaloupe, and then what you can do is, when you run out, you can get some more.
You're making.
Yeah,
If I had a greenhouse, I could bring other items in and
That's
sell
right,
them.
that's right.
Yeah. I don't know.
Karen, what do you think?
I have to say that it does not seem to be supported by the definition. Although I think, I'd like to, my heart tells me go with it because, but it does not seem to be part of the definition. I'd say get a greenhouse and put it in.
Is there a way we can tailor the language?
No, did you still have that up, Joe? I'm sorry to keep arguing, because it goes off after a while.
Sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land.
See, that's the problem.
But not
Because-
instruction. Instruction. I say instructor says fruits and vegetables.
It's, the language is,
That's what you're interpreting,
The language is growing on the land. That's what it is.
grown on or directly.
you know, that's the problem. I mean, we would be really expanding the definition and saying, as long as it's a farm product or it's an agricultural product, then we can allow it, but it would change the definition. So, I think, and then the use variance is gonna be very difficult.
No
To
shot.
bring, that doesn't make any sense, you know, to go through that, that's,
First, I thought
it's a
that.
losing venture right there. But I just don't think that the definition allows for what we're talking about, although I don't see any reason why we couldn't do it. You see a lot of fruit stands on the side of roads, and I don't know if they're farms or not, but, you know, you pass by and people are selling whatever they want to, but I guess,
Randy, you're
technically-
short, I don't mean to cut you off, but you're short one member.
Mm-hmm.
He needs 4 affirmative votes for this to pass. And not knowing how anyone's gonna vote, I wonder if you wanna ask him if he wants to table it for a month to your next meeting, and Lenora Murad will then be here,
Yeah.
which will give him more of an opportunity to get this through, and it may give Byron an opportunity to put together some language for his motion that he might want to make that would be restrictive enough that everybody would be happy with it.
I don't know, I don't think that's, I think, maybe I'm speaking for you.
Please do.
But I think that he didn't want restrictive language.
No, what I'm
He said
saying
it- he
is,
said
it's
it-
an interpretation, as you said, and this is for ag districts. If somebody's gonna put it inside a building, they can have a fruit stand, fruits and vegetables.
But that's
And
not,
fruits and vegetables crosses the line for me, that they could have bananas and watermelon along with papaya, and, but they can't sell, farm, bags of manure, unless he's got cows maybe, but he don't have any, but you can't sell manure, you can't sell anything, it's not a fruit or a vegetable. If it's inside a building, I see it like you can sell a fruit or vegetable.
I'm not sure we disagree.
Are other
Yeah, but the
businesses that
code
like,
is
I'm just
specific.
using the one on Stone Hill,
If you
that
don't
is
grow it, if you
agricultural,
don't
or is
grow it,
that
doesn't
just a
matter if
business?
it's in a building or not, if you don't grow it, you can't sell it.
Among,
Right.
just
Among
for
the-
that.
That's what I said, if you can be
Fringe, okay,
specific
so-
to this case.
I don't know how those all work.
I thought they sold one, another one.
That's
No,
why I
he
said
sells-
we can maybe
Oh, well,
He sells everything.
Everything,
tailor
does he?
some language.
oh, yeah, it's all in there.
We'll make
All
it
sorts
fit.
of different stuff.
Well, what do you
Yeah.
think would be?
So that's, I didn't know how these all
Let's
intermix.
listen to what Herb was saying, and maybe we can take that somehow. I don't know, maybe we can ask her to.
Herb, can you repeat what you were saying when you were making?
Well-
the
Dory, you wanna
statement?
get this down?
Just for argument purposes.
What I was saying is, your interpretation would have to be that agricultural use, which is defined as the sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land, would not be given a literal interpretation in the case of the Masood's property, wherein, in this specific case, in an agricultural district, the landowner is raising numerous products on premises, including trees. What else, Omar, do you sell now?
Shrubs,
Trees,
pumpkins, gourds,
shrubs,
corn, Christmas trees.
pumpkins,
Corn.
gourds, and corn, that he would have the right to bring in additional similar produce items in the instance his inventory is low, or to provide similar produce items that he does not grow.
So Herb, you're saying, and this would be limited to this particular situation?
Well, I'm trying to tie it in.
Yes.
Specific piece of
Yes.
property.
Yes.
only.
Yes, you're interpreting
Can
it
we-
as to this specific
Piece of property.
property.
Okay, but we can do that, just that one.
Yes.
piece of property.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it, you should tie it in as much
Right.
as you can.
And you're tying it into, they have to have an existing business
You're
certificate
not growing on the
on
property.
an
I didn't say
agricultural.
that.
Well,
didn't say that.
I think we tied
No,
it
that's what
in.
statement said you can do it.
Right, I think what we did is we tied it in to this specific case where you got somebody who's growing pumpkins, corn, gourds, Christmas trees, so that you've made this a unique interpretation where I don't think you're gonna find anybody else who's growing all those other things, but just wants to bring in.
Just bring in, add the other in.
It should, it would
Yes.
help if we add that, this,
Yes.
or
Yeah, the other end.
this stuff has been in there, he's been doing this for umpteen years.
Yeah,
We would have been changing, and you opened the door.
I mean, you've been doing this, God, since I was a little kid.
47 years.
And I think that would help.
yeah, I mean, I
I just
think
say if it ever
you
went
can fit it in there.
anywhere else,
And fit it in with
You
all
got
the other, I
Yeah.
think you're right.
a lot of variables that, you know.
So,
Yeah.
I guess,
size their property.
I guess I would say then, no, I guess I would say, the language as proposed for this specific case, is what we're looking at, okay?
Yep.
So, anybody wanna?
I'd make the motion.
Hey, Byron, do you wanna just add though, in this specific case where Masood's have been in business for 40-some odd years,
47
growing,
years.
and we listed all the products?
Yes, absolutely.
Trees, shrubs,
Yeah.
corn.
Need a motion.
I have a motion to grant
Wanna
that
make a motion?
interpretation.
Yeah.
This one?
I'll let Dory read it back and then, just.
Oh.
Oh,
All right, well,
Uh,
I'm fine
just-
with it. I'm fine. I just wanna make sure Joe's got something he can do his teeth in.
I got it
For the
good.
next
We can
time.
go over that.
She's
Okay.
got it, she's got it
I'll
down.
I'll second that.
Wait, you didn't make it yet.
I'm making the motion.
All
that-
right,
Made the
hold on, I need to page.
Being this hard.
Motion?
I make a motion that we're gonna read
You want me to do this? Oh, okay.
Yeah, she got to read, we should hear it.
Yeah.
Okay, let me find it.
I think we restricted it.
Where's the rabbit? Should ask for a variance.
Let me.
No.
Oh, she's
No.
reading, I see her.
The use variance was in
Here,
that, right?
no, I don't
Unless you
want
want me to tell you how much money you.
Okay, we're gonna have Dory read it.
Okay.
Byron?
Yeah, go ahead, I'm listening.
All right.
Okay. Our interpretation would have to be the agricultural use, which is defined as the sale of products grown on or raised directly on such land, would not be given a literal interpretation in the case of the Massoud's property, wherein in this specific case, in an agricultural district, the landowner is raising numerous products on premises, including trees, shrubs, pumpkins, corn, gourds, that he would have the right to bring in additional similar produce items in the interest for inventory. If his inventory gets low, or to provide similar product items that he does not grow. That's what he has.
Yep, and where I said been growing, put for in excess of 45 years.
In excess of what?
45 years.
I think he said 47, but 45.
Well, I'm giving him, he's a young man,
This
giving him
way.
a break.
This way, if he's got to
He
go
would have only
back.
meant 4.
We went on vacation for 2
That's where you learn to smoke corn soda up there, isn't it?
That's it? So Byron?
I'd make that motion.
Tim?
What motion?
I second
Byron?
it.
Wait a minute, I didn't get a motion. Motion by
Byron.
Byron
My second.
Do
The
what you just
language that
read.
you just read.
to add that interpretation.
To the interpretation.
To the interpretation. It's only interpretation.
Seconded by Tim?
Yep.
Aye.
I,
Aye.
All right.
Go.
Go from
Thank
there.
you very much.
It's done, you mentioned, it's not.
Good
luck.
Thank you.
Every Friday.
What was
I
that?
want to make sure I put in specific to this.
Every Farmers Day.
You put in.
because you have to bring
If
in
we
your
walked in there one day,
financial
that's the
records
first
that
thing that I
show
saw, I
that you
didn't
have
leave.
severe hardship, fresh produce down the street. You don't want to,
You gotta
You go to
you wouldn't be
the,
able to do it, you wouldn't be able
We'll
to do
get
it. So it would fail.
I want, if you want to rent my back field for strawberries.
You have to show.
Go to Shields and get all those apples.
For use variance.
Area variance,
The
you
use
don't
of
need
your
one.
farm, that would be the
We
right.
already have that.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Talk to me about one thing out my back field. Strawberries. I wanted them, I want you to go, I'll go eat what I want, and you can sell the rest. That's you, that's what my septic is. Those things don't grow like this.
So I guess you're not going to try with that. My engine is going to just blow up. Good luck to you. I have to come over and get some of those watermelons and bananas.